camera on the other side where the buttons are at, but oh well. Anyway, so first things first, my name is Kenneth Berg. My company is Black Series Edition LLC. This morning, I went over to the site to look at the walls to do the installment for the gallery we're putting in. So they're putting in a gallery. They want a live living gallery. So judging by how much space we have in the environment, it looks a little wider than that, but judging how much space we have in the environment and where the screens are going to be at, we're going to use ultra short throws in there. So we have to use ultra short throws on the walls, and they're going to be mounted over top the screens in order to do it, because long throws are just not going to be able to fit in that environment. It's going to be a headache. It ain't going to work anyway with long throws, and ultra short throws are definitely not going to, sorry, short throws are definitely not going to work. So they want basically screens here, because these walls are actually pretty big. Screens here, screen there. They want a smaller screen here. So they want screens all the way down this hallway, like an art exhibit. That's how they want it, all the way through down here. All right, so we have to put ultra short those here and here, which would be no problem to install them all the way down. On the far end, we have the black surface over there, so we can basically hit that with a long throw projector, to see how it's going to react. It should have no problem reacting in the environment because they want to see it. They had their own projector. They had a Burma Company's Black Series Edition LLC. They had a Dell. Actually, was a pretty good Dell too at that. But showing them that on the other end, that the Dell, even from way back there, would pick up ultra short. That would be a breeze in this environment, because again, where I'm pointing at, this is where they want screens at. They want to turn this into an art gallery, a live, living art gallery. So when people walk through, they can see these amazing screens pulling out when they walk past. So over here, where I'm looking at the windows, also too, they want us to do some kind of window technology for the windows. So right there, that is our black technology. That's the surface that we have here. We have it over there now, and we wanted to see where the projector's sitting. We know it's going to pull up, but just out of curiosity, just to show them at the end of the day that, we could do this at a long throw, ultra short throw is really easy. This is why it's important to make sure that your products can work with all projectors, including ultra short throws, because in some jobs, they will request, or most jobs I've seen, they will request those ultra short throw projectors, and you have to be able to function in that environment. We use ultra short throws on massive screen sizes. So to be able to use the NECs, because they don't want to spend a lot of money for their projectors, we're going to run all NECs in there. That's a projector under $200. It runs on our technology, and we have it tested multiple times. So again, it was a very convincing sale for them to be able to say, okay, we'll work with that projector. Well, how do you know it'll work? Well, here's the demonstrations. We have it at 120 inches, 150 inches, so we can get that to pull in a 40 environment. This environment right here is a cakewalk. We can walk through this easy because, again, we test our demonstration in something called a max out zone. Tons of light hitting the screens at massive sizes. So this is nothing for us right here. This is basically on a long throw that's sitting about a good 10 feet back. It's in the next room. They're showing that if we can get this to run, ultra short throw is a cakewalk. And again, if your product is not ultra short throw compatible, you don't get the job, because guess what? Majority of these companies want ultra short throws. They don't want projectors sitting all the way in the background where people can walk in front of them. They don't want it at all, period. The company we're doing across the street for their restaurant, again, they don't want a projector in there because they don't want people walking back and forth, or hits bobbing up on the screen. And they definitely don't want the screen washing out or fading. They don't want to change the environment. Notice how the environment doesn't change and the screen still pulls up. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to work. Now, it's supposed to be in there adjusting things. And we're not even using a venue projector. We're using a Dell in there right now. So I had to do the walkthrough to see exactly where the projectors were going to sit and what walls we're going to put them through. So they have the conference room over in there. There's a projector sitting over there. Each one of these walls, we're going to put our black technology on. They're going to have somebody come in and put this really gorgeous frame around it, and they're going to make it living art display as people walk through. That's what they want. Now, the window I showed in the front, There are 3 of those windows, including 2 more on the bottom floor. We get the 2 on the bottom floor and the 2 on the first and second, and theirs is on the third. So that shows you right there. Now I'm coming back in tomorrow. I'm bringing in one of my projectors, bringing in a short throw, and I'm bringing in one of my projectors because I want to do some video displays. We didn't get a chance to do any video displays because the VGA, and I'm glad I bought the adapters with me because when she said Dells, I'm thinking, okay, Dells, HDMI. Some people get HDMIs and VGAs mixed up. That's why I'm glad we bought adapters in with us. But the VGAs were coming up funny. They weren't working right. They were coming up bluish. So that tells me VGAs could be damaged. So we're bringing our own machines for basically for testing. So Sony VPO FH30, we'll bring that in tomorrow and set it up. If they're still there, I'm thinking about going back over and basically setting up again. And then that way we can do some video displays, pictures, colorful birds, all that stuff. We already got the screen down. The screen's down there right now, so we left it down there because no point in bringing it back. We need it for testing anyway, on showing off what's going to be able to operate in the environment. Judging by the environment, what I'm looking at, that's a cakewalk. That's nothing. We're going to be using the ultra short throws too. That's definitely an even bigger cakewalk because again, there's no distance showing there. So all we have to do is just bring this to life, which is no problem at all. Yeah, that's going to be an easy job. See that white level pushing through? Now we're not installing one screen. I got to install 7 screens in there, which means, again, can't be in there painting forever. Got to get it done and get out of there. I really don't want to be in there. I love being in the environment, but I got other work to do in other areas of that building. So I can't be in there doing 3 and 4 applications on the surface. We need to paint it, get it done, move on to the next one. Oh, I've seen the demonstration. I don't care if people get upset over it or not. It takes forever to paint that freaking screen in. Nobody's going to sit there and paint that in. It takes too long to do it. It's a headache. And then on top of that, it's not even ultra short throw compatible. He can never get this job because it ain't going to work. The restaurant we're doing across the street they want ultra short throws in there because they didn't want people walking in front of the projector. That's why they want them in there. If your product's not ultra short throw, it ain't going to work. Oh, man. I think early in the morning for this. And the beautiful thing about it is I know the CEO. I can walk in their building anytime I want to and chill anytime I want to. Go up there and look at my screens, videotape anytime I want to. And gray screens, you can forget it. You don't even function in this environment at all, period. They're not going to dim any of these lights for you. Not going to happen. Nothing's going to change. The environment's going to stay exactly the same. A gray screen couldn't even register in this environment at all, period, which we're going to show them live on camera. Well, we got to get the Wi-Fi in there. We get live on camera, but I did the pre-record. We'll show you. We'll put a gray screen, sir, and it ain't going to pull up for jack. Can't pull contrast. Won't see color. Won't see nothing. Even when we got the ultra short, those sitting right up on top of the screen. This is not your apartment at the end of the day. This is what I explain to people at the end of the day. Stop doing demonstrations in these dark environments. Because again, if someone has to stick your screen in an environment such like this, you're going to have issues in there because your screen's not used fired up in that environment. So again, if you do demonstrations in dark apartments with little lights splash behind the back of the screen, this is not going to work. They don't have to change anything in this environment for that technology. That's our technology sitting right there. So we were able to bring up those nice blues and that perfect white there with the projector sitting all the way back there and all that light. Gray screen can't fire up in that environment. You're going to function. And they're not changing the environment out. And they're not going to do it. Because they were going to do all monitors, all TVs in there. You know how much money that would have cost them at the end? A lot of money. So one of the things they wanted to see was when they walked down the hallway, that you can see the angle of the screen. So when they walk down, they have to be to see the angle of all those display arts pulling up. When you see when you walk down and when you stand in front of you, you have to be to see that. I'm walking around. This is the other area right here they're working on right now. They're about to redo the whole ceiling. They're going to redo the walls. They got a nice little eating area over there. So we'll be setting up in here too, right on this wall over there. I'll be doing a logo tonight. So I'm doing a logo in projector mapping technology tonight. I'm going to send it over to them so you can see it. See right there? Oh shoot, did I just pop over too? Seriously. Oh my goodness. Hold on for a minute. Give me a minute. We were just in there a few minutes ago. Can you get me back to where I was at? What the heck is that all about? Alright. I'm going to show this part right here. There we go. Now you see that? See how you can see that screen crystal clear all the way across on an angle game with the light sitting right in front of it? That's how your technology is supposed to perform. So when they're in there walking around and they're looking at this, they want to see that they can stand right here and walk down that hallway and still see that image pull off the surface. See, all that dumb nonsense at the end of the day, because this is going to be live for people to come and see it, all that dumb nonsense that you naysayers running your mouths too much at the end of the day talking about, oh, we're using special effects and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's going to be kind of hard to do in that environment. When we have people walking in and out or back and forth to that area, that's going to be hard to do. Or, his technology is so dark, you can't even see it. Yeah, sure. Okay, really? Yeah, my stuff picks up better than y'all's stuff at the end of the day. My stuff costs less than $5,000 to $7,000 projection screen that can pull up on projectors that cost less than what y'all use in your demonstrations. And I can see in environments that you guys can't even begin to even function in. And the environment never has to be changed out. I'm going to be doing an ultra short through demonstration tomorrow. I'm going to bring my Sony up because I want to hit that against the wall. And that's going to be a cakewalk. I'm talking about a couple of inches from a screen on 3,000 lumens. That's easy. I don't think I'm gonna blow up that whole 150 inch when I get in there. But then again, who cares about you naysayers at the end of the day? You don't buy my product. And anybody else who runs their mouth online, oh, gotta go. Business call. Oh, no, it's the hater. It's the hater. It is the hater. Hold on. Listen up, people. All right, before you start opening your mouth, listen to me very carefully. I'm in a live stream. So you know that anything you say will come up on the live stream. Go ahead.
Do you like dick, Kenneth?
So this right here is the person, the guy who sent the white supremacist nonsense. I want you to listen. I want you to listen to some of these haters at the end of the day.
Why do you like Crows so much, dude?
Dude, what is seriously, what is wrong with you at the end of the day? Seriously.
What is wrong with you? We talk about Crow all day. You love him?
Here's the guy right here. Right there. That's the guy we pulled off the number, contacted us. Look, man, at the end of the day, look, listen, you got mental problems. I really don't have time to have this. I don't have time to have this conversation with you. I'm not going to entertain you on this. Listen to me. I'm not going to entertain you on this. So, you have problems. Listen, you have problems at the end of the day. You hear that? Right there. Racial slurs. Call me a nigger right there. And there's a phone number right there from New Jersey.
Shut your mouth.
All right. Whatever, dude. At the end of the day, you need help. That's all to it. All right. Bye-bye. Crow, at the end of the day, these guys support you. These are racists. At the end of the day, they support you. Guy came up here and called me a nigger multiple times in the middle of a live stream. This is the reason why Crow needs to be boycotted. And it's the reason why I'm going to push it for you to be boycotted at the end of the day. Because again, you support racism. And that nonsense you just had on your freaking you had on it with the KKK and the cross and say you have nothing to do with that. You don't support it. Yes, you do. The guy just mentioned your name. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. I don't care if he does in the middle of the video. I'm glad we got it on recording. Oh, this guy contacted me with that nonsense at the end of the day. This is the kind of stuff that Crow surrounds himself around. That kind of hatred, that kind of nonsense, that kind of ignorance. That's what I was telling you at the end of the day. All that hate mail we was receiving, racial slurs, a lot of that stuff was coming from Jaime, calling us niggers and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that was coming from him. Guy sat there right there and talked about, yeah, crow this and crow that, but said the word nigger multiple times in the conversation. There you go. So that tells you right there that Crow does support racism. I told you at the end of the day, look, man, you sat there and contacted me and said, look, that has something to do with Bad Boys or whatever. It doesn't make a difference. There are many clips you could have used in Bad Boys that you could have used for a thumbnail besides that particular one. If I did a demonstration, I was talking about, what's the one they call, I forgot the name of it. But anyway, if I used a particular point in there, it was considered to be very racy against Jews or Mexicans or anything, and I posted that particular part of the clip, that right there becomes insensitive. And that right there is showing somebody of a KKK member with a burning cross, and you choose to use that particular thumbnail to basically have your name attached to, still doesn't make it better for you. That's the kind of hatred you generate at the end of the day. So I'm glad this fellow called me up with this nonsense, screaming the word nigger, 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 and basically mention how he's defending Crow. This is the kind of stuff that Crow supports. So when I say Crow supports racism, yes, he does. So, dude, you live up in Jersey? Yeah, okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. We'll be in touch real soon. As for you, Jaime, like I said before, don't make eye contact when you see me out there, because I know what kind of person you are. You're racist, and you support racists at the end of the day. Because again, people who basically don't support racists don't support nonsense like that. They don't want anything to do with it. And the fact that particular thumbnail sat there for 5 years and you did not contact this guy and say, hey, look, I don't want this associated with my company or my business. Do me a favor, can you remove that or change that to something else? Anybody else would have did the exact same thing. You didn't do that. It means you supported that nonsense. And that's the guy who contacted us, who had the content up there yesterday. There you go. So when I sit there and say that Jaime is a racist, he's a racist. Does he support racism? Yes, he does, 100%. And the people who basically follow in his circle, he supports that too at the end of the day. Now, of all people, you would think of all races that a Mexican at the end of the day would not tolerate something like that. Because it's bad enough that those Mexicans at the end of the day go through a ton of racism, trying to come over here to the United States, being treated horribly by Border Patrol and everything else. Just when they come over here, they're treated horribly. And you would think of all people that they at their hands would understand what Black people have gone through and that symbol and what it stands for. But apparently this guy, as I said, at the end of the day, only cares about himself and himself only. It shows in his product. It shows in how he carries himself. You see him spaz out and just completely destroy his website and his reputation by just showing pornography. And then you got individuals who basically support his point of views. And I'm pretty sure he said the N-word quite a few times in front of these people. So for you to have these kind of individuals that support you at the end of the day tells a lot about the kind of person that you are and the reason why people should boycott you and not buy your products at all, period. So I'm glad we got this on recording because I'm going to be showing this off quite a bit to a few people that are going to be interested in watching this. Jaime, as I said, at the end of the day, you're a very lucky man that I'm not like you. I attach your address to this. You don't know what kind of people that will come down to your front door to meet with you, to have a conversation with you, and it's not going to be talk. You're a racist, buddy. And you support racism, and the people that you basically do business with are basically all racist at the end of the day. All right, people, I'm happy that we're blessed to get this job right here, and I'm going to show you some more on this as I go along. It's sad that we had to go through that little era right there. As I told you before, this is something I deal with all the time with a lot of racism in this business. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Am I mad at this guy today? Want to kill him? Yeah, there's a part of me wants to kill him. Who wouldn't at the end of the day? But I pray on this. I put this in God's hands and ask him to direct me the right way to go. That's what I do. Because like I said, if this was 20 years ago, Jamie, we had this conversation 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I was a different man. I was hot-headed, quick to pull a trigger. I just didn't think straight. I was young, did dumb stuff. And 20 years ago, if that had popped up and I had your address, we wouldn't have had no YouTube conversation. I'd have been right there waiting for you to come outside and knock your teeth out. You of all people of your race should not support this nonsense to begin with, because again, Mexicans go through so much crap coming over to the US. Even when they're citizens and they're over here, they still go through crap at the end of the day. That people come up to them and say, oh, where's your paperwork? And this, that, and the other. Like they don't have a right to be here when they do have the right to be here. To this day, I have never supported the wall and never will support the wall because I don't see any problem with them coming over here to begin with. When people sit there and complain and say, oh, they're taking up all the jobs. What jobs? Most people don't want to work that's over here as it is. I definitely do not support anybody at the end of the day who feels that any race of people should not have the right to come here to America and live. Why not? First of all, for the people who are sitting there arguing, saying, oh, it was never yours to begin with. It belonged to the American Indian. You took it from them, whether you like it or not. So what gives you the right to go in and tell any other race that they don't have the right to be here? And the Mexicans get it the worst. Because again, when they come over here, they treat them like trash. And they call them lazy. They're the most hardest working people I've ever seen. And you're going to call them lazy and everything else in the book. I'm disappointed in you, Jamie. I really am. I'm disappointed. After what I've seen your people go through when I come over here, and I support them coming over here 100%. And at the end of the day, for you to support that kind of hatred, basically, yeah, it's very, very, very disappointing. All right, people, I'm going to enjoy my blessing that my Lord gave me, despite the devil who tries to come in from time to time and take our blessings away. And do I forgive Jamie for this? Yeah, I do forgive him for this, because that's what you're supposed to do. I can't give forgiveness unless I basically forgive. As for the lawsuit, that has to go through, because again, if Jamie would have learned to just back down and mind his own freaking business and stop doing fake demonstrations, I wouldn't have to file a lawsuit against you. But you don't give me options. You never give me options to walk away from things. So again, this is just another freaking insane nonsense that, like I said, we've been dealing with from this guy from day one. And when I told you at the end of the day we were receiving a lot of hate and racist remarks from him, we were not joking. And basically, like I said, you know, Jamie, you have to understand, when you call people an N-word at the end of the day, people that are around you and hear you say this think it's okay for them to say it. You invite those individuals into your circle. If you were the type of person that says, oh, no, don't say that word around me. I don't support that word. I don't like it at all. It's this, that, and the other. Then those people couldn't be in your circle because you don't support it. That's how I know you support it, because he mentioned your name multiple times. He was backing you 100% and felt the need to call me a racial slur over and over again because he knew it was okay, because you know it's okay. That's why. All right, people. Well, that's basically about it. I'm going to go ahead and look at, I got to upload some more videos I did on basically doing the walkthrough. And we're going to be posting this guy. We got his number and everything. So, yeah, this guy's got some mental problems. I try not to argue with these people because there's no point. They only think one way. That's basically about it. Let me see what we got going on here. Here we go. Let me see. So, there he is right there. That's the fellow who felt the need to come in and call me nigger like 4 or 5 times and basically praised Jamie at the exact same time. All right, well, that being said, I hope you all enjoyed whatever this we try to do at the end of the day. But at least, like I said, wherever's in the dark comes out into the light. This guy literally contacted me and said, hey, look, you're wrong. I don't support racism. It's funny because everybody who basically uses that word basically talks highly about you at the end of the day. So, yes, you do support it. And again, it doesn't make a difference if it's from the bad boy clip There are so many different clips you could have used for that thumbnail besides that one right there. Common sense would have told you, like, okay, that's a bad clip. I don't want to put that in there because people will think something else. No, you allow that to go through. You didn't even catch the guy and say, hey, buddy, can you remove that thumbnail? I don't care what it's a part of it. That's kind of making me look like a racist. Can you kind of remove that? You didn't do that at all. So there's no excuse for it. Hope people never buy from you ever again. Because, anybody who buys from this fellow, like I said, in the day, you support his point of views. All right, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the demonstration, and I got to continue work.